It's Let's Talk People, and I am so excited to know that you are healthy and well, even in the midst of coronavirus, which is COVID-19. That's why Janet and I are here to actually reassure you that all will go well. I am Pulu Joke saying welcome and thank you for staying tuned. Janet, how are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, you are, I would say, a specialist in your own way, but you're part of the team helping to actually attend to patients with coronavirus.
Right.
And I know that you have a full idea of what is going on with what you've seen. And basically, I think you're coming from work at the moment.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so that's why you say that she has the first-hand information right now.
Well, close to first.
Okay, so with COVID-19 ravaging the whole world, it's something that is disheartening. And we actually, with our sitting position, you will see that it's not 6 feet, but it's almost 6 feet.
Yeah, we're trying.
Social distancing.
We're trying to social We're trying it.
So how would you describe COVID-19?
COVID-19 is a respiratory disease.
Okay.
It's known as corona virus disease. For different people, it's been different symptoms.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
So what you've seen so far with people coming in and out of the hospital, would you say the symptoms are alike?
For me, I work in an ICU, in a neuro ICU. But right now, we're pretty much just ICU because everybody that has corona, that is positive comes to us. So I won't say that I see people coming in and out because all of our cases have been in and not out so far, except for, unfortunately, when we have expired patients. So
what do you mean by expired patients?
So expired patients expired is the word we use instead of saying they died.
Oh, okay.
So we can't say that a patient died. We'll say the patient expired.
Oh,
I think it's meant to make it softer.
Softer, right?
So it doesn't eat hard. Yeah. So for me, I don't know about the patient going in and out because I don't work in the ER. So people that work in the ER are probably more familiar with the in and out. But for me, it's more severe cases, more critical. So people that come to us are people that, they're already severe. So it's been a lot of in, and I'm glad it's not yet a lot of outs. It's in terms of, expired patients.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, still buttressing the fact that you've seen all of this.
Yeah.
Now, it's no longer business as usual. Now you're saying the doctors, the nurses, how has it been? The shifts and all?
Yeah, first of all, we're going to shout out everybody because I know when people talk about healthcare and hospitals, they think about doctors and nurses. I just want to shout out the respiratory therapists, especially right now, because this is a respiratory disease. And people don't remember that we have people called respiratory therapists. We have so many part of healthcare. We have, the nurses support, the auxiliary nurses. We have so many part of healthcare. We have the housekeeping. These are the people that make sure. We have the infection control people. So shout out to all of them. Just before we go further, we've all been on a hedge. You could tell people easily upset about things that they will probably won't be upset about before because people are stressed, people are overworked, if you have to be honest, and we don't have enough resources. It's so sad. We don't have enough supplies.
Because of the number of people that have been
so even the fact that we don't have enough supplies, it can really make you have anxiety because you're like, oh my gosh, if this finished, are you gonna go to this patient's room? You still have to go to this patient's room. So does that mean that you're gonna be exposed? If the patient is coding, for instance, are we gonna leave the patient alone? Or are we still gonna go even though we know that we're gonna be exposed to this patient? So it's very nerve-wracking for a lot of us,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's no longer business as usual.
It's definitely not business as usual, it's serious and I see on social media a lot of people are joking about
Exactly,
it.
I was actually coming to that.
And
Is
honestly,
it funny? Is it really funny?
Honestly, it is and it's not. It's not. It is because when you work in it, sometimes when you see certain things that make you laugh, even though it's a kind of a weird comedy, but anything that makes you laugh, it's good, especially when you're in an intense environment. Like yesterday, one of my coworkers during his break came to me and said, "Oh my God, Janet, look at this video that is a Nigerian video of somebody in the bus saying, 'Oh, I have corona,' or something like that." But it was funny because we know it's a comedian and they're trying to make us laugh, which at that point we laugh because it's funny. But then as soon as our break is over, we're like, no,
You
that
got
wasn't
to
funny
reality.
because it's right there next to us. So, so it is and it isn't. But I think people are making up these jokes because they don't want to really face how intense this situation is. I think it's making them turning into a joke. I don't think it's malicious. I think it's just because, that's like they're trying to make a light of a serious thing, So even though I don't totally agree with it, I see why, they make a joke of it. Yeah.
Now, we have been hearing about the different ways by which we can protect ourselves,
Yes.
and which is one of this social distancing that
Yes.
we are doing at the moment.
Yes.
And but we still see a couple of people who still don't think it's necessary to actually do that. When they say, even if you're talking, no matter how close you are to the person, there should still be a gap.
Right.
There should still be a gap. But you see people flouting the instruction. What would you say to people like that?
Again, I'm somebody that like to see things on both sides, the good and the bad.
Okay.
And I see the social distance thing is kind of, I don't know if I should say it's complicated, because if you're a family member, like if you're a parent, like how do you socially distance yourself?
It's actually
from your
saw a
kids?
picture yesterday on Facebook.
Yeah.
The lady saying, "How do I distance
Yeah, like
myself from isolate myself?"
imagine, like for me right now, I'm distancing myself from my niece, like my favorite human being over, which is my niece, Addie Grace, and I haven't seen her like 2-3 weeks, and it hurts me, like honestly. But I know I cannot go to their house because
of where you work, right?
because of where I work, and I take this seriously. So I will not go there. I miss her so much. I feel like sometimes it's better not to FaceTime her, because if I FaceTime her, I'm gonna miss her more, But it's a serious thing to socially distance yourself from people as much as you can. Like on the train, you can sit on the extreme end of each other, But then the thing is, you can get this virus in so many ways that even though you socially distance yourself, there are other ways of getting this virus. So
what are the other ways?
Okay, so we know we can contact. It's considered. I think CDC also. I think I could reference you to CDC too about this. But for us, it's considered an airdrop contact and a droplet contact. So an airdrop contact means that if you're within like the vicinity, like 6 feet or something like that. So now our patients that are positive, we have to wear certain kind of mask because it's an airborne case. So we have to wear certain kind of mask.
I thought they said it wasn't airborne.
See, that's the thing now. It's a lot of contradicting information, but I will go on what the healthcare system is, the way the healthcare system is reacting to it.
Okay.
And the way they are reacting to it is by making sure we wear specific kind of masks.
Okay.
So now there was an old information by the UNICEF since like beginning of March. Now this is a case whereby every day you get new information. But I got a WhatsApp message of information that was released like March 2nd. As far as I know, it's an airdrop contact, and it's also a droplet contact. Droplet means that if I sneeze on you, if I'm talking and I spit on you, so I shouldn't even be looking at you when I talk because my spit can touch you, right?
Yeah.
So if I spit on you, if I sneeze on you, stuff like that, those are droplet. Which is why when they even test you for corona, they go deep,
Into the
deep,
nose.
deep, like deep into the nose, to swap you, because you can get it so many ways, and you can get it by touching a surface. If God forbid I have it, I touch this surface, you touch that surface. That's the way of getting it.
Yeah.
So there's so many ways to get it. So even though social distancing is it's highly recommended, but for me, what I recommend the most is, if your job does not require you to go to work, stay at home. Like if you don't have to be out of your house, stay at home. Because the thing is, when you're not staying home, and like you get sick, you become positive, right? Now it's gonna be less resources for people who are already positive before you. Like I don't know if I'm saying it correctly.
Yeah, because
it's like we don't have enough resources.
even in Italy, they had to choose who to live and who to die.
Exactly,
Due to
and
the
that's so sad.
rate of things.
But it's the reality right now. You see a country like UAE telling their citizens that if they ever have a case of corona, that they will never act like they're good on food and medication. They're ready.
Wow.
And we live in the United States of America, and we don't even have, like, to get a mask is a big deal now.
Yeah, because everything now is too cumbersome. And
Yes.
I actually know that, well, they are doing their best possible.
They
to
have
make sure
the
that
best, amazing
maybe because
job.
it was not, maybe because they weren't prepared
Yes.
enough for it. But now with this, is an eye opener that this can go anywhere.
Yes.
So if US is experiencing this, what about other countries that are not even
My
close?
goodness, imagine
That
like
are not
African
close.
countries,
Exactly.
third world
It's going to be
countries,
very,
like
very
my
terrible.
goodness, like even Nigeria. I was actually reading a testimony of a girl. I guess we'll call it a testimony. She was talking about how her symptoms started, and I know we didn't talk about symptoms yet. She was talking about how her symptoms started and how she kept going to the hospital and they kept ignoring her. They say she just had a flu.
Back
in Nigeria, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then they were talking about how it's not corona, we're not even testing for it and stuff like that. A 20-year-old, and I was just thinking, oh my gosh, that's just one thing. Imagine if this thing goes crazy in Nigeria.
Yeah,
like,
which I pray it won't.
which will not, in the
It will
name
be
of
really,
Jesus.
really-
We
yeah.
are believers, so
It
we
will,
believe it
because-
will not be
Exactly.
our craziness. But if a country like the United States of America
Yeah.
does not
But
have enough resources for
at
us,
this moment.
oh my goodness, it is well.
Yeah, because I think because we felt it's just in China and it's just going to
Yes.
end in China.
And that's
But it's
so sad.
obvious that this now is it's human traveler.
Yes.
Like it travels
Yes.
through man. It
Yes.
can't go anywhere by
Yes.
itself.
Yes.
It needs an assistance from someone
Yes.
to actually do this. And because China and United States there's a trade deal, so basically there's in and out. So that's why all of this.
And speaking of
happen.
China, I just it's all funny, it's all jokes, when we have this this race jokes here and there. They're funny right there when we're saying it, but again, I'm the kind of person that like to see things on both ends. I can remember when there was the Ebola case and people were like, it's African disease, it's African disease.
But with the fact that they don't even have rising cases like
Yeah.
that anymore,
That's
and I know that America too will overcome this. It's just
It's a matter of time.
It's a matter of time,
And
they're
it's a
just
matter of people staying home so that less people are coming
Yes.
to the air.
Yeah, so I think we should just learn to abide by the regulations, the rules. We are not meant to be forced to do this.
Yes.
We are meant to obey accordingly because it's for our own safety.
Yes.
It's not the government's problem alone.
Yeah.
It's our problem.
Yeah,
We
because
do it
if you're
collectively.
sick, it's not the government's problem.
Exactly.
If your organ is failing,
It's not the government's problem.
Let's
They're
be
only
honest.
doing everything to support and
Of course.
help solve this problem because
Yes.
it's really a problem that must be looked into. Well, do you have anything else you would want to? Well, let's
I
talk
don't know.
about the washing of hands. Let's
Oh,
wash
the
your hands.
protection.
Yes, all of
Yes,
this. I think
yes, yes,
you
yes.
even have a
Yes,
face mask.
Yes,
I see people
yes.
use this every time. And there was a
Jesus
time they said people
Christ.
should not, when you're not sick, you should
Come
not
on,
use it.
people.
Even while walking on the road, you're walking for crying out
Jesus
loud
Christ.
by yourself. Why would you?
Come on, my people. Come on. The thing is, even the President Barack Obama, he had to tweet, like, people stop buying the masks. Because if you buy all the masks in the market,
What would the
what are we
medical
going to
people
use?
use?
I
think that's why you guys are
we're so
not
shocked
having
because
enough.
you know why we're so shocked of a lot of things? Because they cannot refill those things back.
Because people are
buying everything. Come on. And then some staffs, shade, they're taking the whole box to their family and sharing it. Which is why now, like, before you could easily just go to the storage and just get a mask, and now you have to sign upon sign just to get one mask. So it's crazy. So people, if you don't need to buy a mask, please.
I was walking on the road one day and somebody just looked at me. Where is your mask? Where is your mask? Like, don't worry, I'm walking. I don't know.
I know what's so crazy is the people that are wearing scrubs. Majority, I've seen few of them. I don't know what their job is because not everybody that wears scrub is out person.
Okay.
Some people that don't work in healthcare wear that for protection. So, but I've seen some people that wear scrubs and wear it. But majority of the people I would see in scrubs on the train and stuff, they don't wear it. So, like for me, I know people look at me like, but my thing is, I think people feel stupid when they see me in scrubs and no mask. Because I think they get embarrassed because you could tell, like, you could read people's vibe, you could tell they're embarrassed, like, this one is wearing a scrub. I'm thinking that's what they're thinking, right? And I'm wearing it. And some people have like the old air purifying mask. Actually, I'm jealous for that one because I want it because it was feel good. But the thing is, not all masks work for corona, right? So now this is the regular mask.
Okay.
I don't know what it's called. I just know it as mask, right? Because that's what we call it. Okay. This regular mask now, it doesn't protect you from coronavirus. But this is the most commonly used mask in the streets. Now, if you buy all of this mask, this is used for another thing, right? Another kind of care. Now, if you buy all of this mask, we won't have masks to use for those care that we normally use this mask for. Now you're wasting your money and you're exposing us to things that
they're not supposed to.
They're exposed to. So I do not recommend us buying this. This one and the one you tie like a rope
at the back.
Just leave them alone, bruh. Please, please leave them at home or just don't buy it. Leave it at the store, please.
So they can buy
so that the hospital will run out. They can go to the stores and go buy it, please. So that we can keep your family members safe and even you. Because God forbid, you don't know. You might need us. This is the fan favorite. So this is actually the good one for corona. This is the recommended mask for corona. But then it's good and there's good and bad to everything, right? So this mask is really made for going into a room that is like a contact room, right? So now, how this works is when you use this one, right?
Yeah.
And you're breathing, this is kind of protecting you from like let's say you're suctioning a patient, right? And then the splashes, like stuff like that. This is not really stopping hair from coming in and out, right? Okay. But this one, it keeps the air in. So when you wear, I'm wearing makeup, so I don't want to mess up my makeup. Okay. So when you wear it like this, right?
Okay.
You know what? Komata. So you wear it like this, right? And then there's a thick part. This thicker part, you put it on your nose.
Okay.
You press it down.
Oh.
To tighten the air.
Yeah.
Keep it down, and then you put this up.
Under the same.
And then you separate. Some of them come with 2 ropes.
Okay.
Some of them come with 1, right? Then you come back again and fix this. This is probably one of the most important part. It's making sure that you pin it down on your nose so that there's no air going in and out, right?
Okay.
And also, it's recommended not to talk, except you really, really absolutely have to.
talk. Okay.
Because when you're talking, it's moving it, right? So it's better not to talk,
Okay.
except you really have to, right? So you type it down. So I'm hoping you guys can still hear me.
Of course.
So what is happening is all the air you're breathing in and out is like whatever you breathe out, it stays in here, right? Because air cannot come in and out,
Okay.
right? So whatever you breathe out in here, you breathe it back in, right? So imagine you breathing out your carbon dioxide
And then still
in
taking
and
it
out
in again.
for a few minutes, for
It's
10 minutes,
it's
for
okay.
20 minutes. It's okay, right? But I see people on a train ride. I'm on a train ride for sometimes it takes me about an hour to get to work. And there's other people that I see consistently that you kind of know them on the train. And you see them with this for an hour.
Wow.
Imagine that for an hour. So now extended use of this, and you have to know how to use stuff before you just because you see people doing it
Doesn't make it right.
doesn't make it right. It's because we're trained to use it.
Okay.
We just don't use stuff just because it looks cute. We're trained to use this. So even though it's the best thing for coronavirus, it's more expensive, I believe, but we need this thing. This is so scarce. This is still easy to get. This is so scarce because it keeps disappearing. You know, and I wish I could. So I wish somebody that I know we don't steal in this family because we are believers. But please, if you happen to take it to your house, please take that back to work and help your coworkers. So there are many ways to prevent it, but this is the best way, and this is the best provided way for us. So now I want to give you a picture.
Okay.
So that picture, it's another kind of mask, right? So me and some of my coworkers, just to be extra safe, right? We wear this and we wear that mask on top.
Oh, wow.
But the thing about that mask is that it has a little machine that puts air in it. So it's like an air purifying mask. So you can have it on without N95 for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's I don't know engineering, but it's good.
Very okay.
Yeah, but that one, it's very dramatic. It's not for public.
Okay, so don't worry, I'm going to.
So that one you will not see on the street.
Okay.
So and because I know I was coming to your show, I told my coworker, "Nah, you gotta take a picture of me."
Okay.
Because I don't normally take pictures at work. But I told them, "Nah, we are taking pictures today because I gotta show,
Okay.
my interviewee."
All right.
My interviewer. So I took that picture for you guys to see that one. So that one is, if you're familiar with Ebola case, you probably have seen people won that before.
Yeah.
So that's the one we're using right now at work. And also we don't have a lot of it. So it's based on I think the people that get to wear it or not get to wear it, like we prioritize, if we don't really need it, we don't wear it.
Okay.
So the people that we know that really need it, number one, respiratory therapy, because they have to be close. Sometimes they suction. Part of their job is to suction. Like people that have trach, they have to suction. Imagine having so much secretion and having it to your face. So they have to be extra safe. So they have it. Doctors have it. I don't think doctors should be the second in the list, but doctors have it. And then the leftovers are for the nurse and whatever else that is able to go into the room.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's been mind-blowing. It's
Yeah.
been educative, and thank you so much for accepting to be on this show today.
Of course.
And I hope you've been able to learn one or two things from Janet.
Yes.
Make sure you practice the stay safe.
Yes. And before I'm sorry to interrupt, before we end, I just want to say that there's so many things out there, like people say, oh, if you have fever, if you have this, if you have that you probably have corona. I just want to say that if you have fever and you have cough and you have these things, right? First, that's just I'm not a doctor, but before you decide to come to the ER and expose yourself more, I will do something that the 20-year-old Nigerian girl that I told you about earlier did. She self-quarantined herself. When she started saying the symptoms, right? She was like, I don't think I have corona, but to be
Stay
safe.
away from people.
Yeah, so she self-quarantined herself until eventually she was able to get a test in, right? So there's so many ways to get it. You can have, it can be cough, it can be fever, it can be this and that. And so for some people, it's been fatigue. They've had lower energy than ever. So it could be many things. So now for me, what I would do is if I feel something in my body that is not something I normally feel, I pay attention to it. I write it down. I write down what did I eat before that happened. What did I like? I'm that kind of person in general.
You are into the health system.
It could be that, or it could be that I'm very paranoid.
Okay, maybe. And then the issue of fear. Let's try to avoid being fearful.
Yes.
Because any little sneeze, you even suspect yourself.
Yes.
And the fact that somebody, the fear itself is even worse than the sickness itself.
Let me give you a really one of the bad comedy, right? So one of my coworkers this morning, we knew she had a little cough or whatever. So this morning she came and she was like, it was like, sis, are you sick? Like, go.
You don't want to. Sneezing right now is sinful.
Oh my goodness.
Because it's suspicious.
Oh my goodness.
So try not to sneeze. And even when you want to sneeze.
If you have to sneeze, please sneeze. Dap it, okay?
Yeah, actually.
Dap sneeze.
Well, also would like to say thank you, particularly to Janet and our colleagues, the health sector people, doing everything possible, and not just people in the health system, like she mentioned.
Yeah, the teachers,
the cleaners, everyone in the
people that are feeding us food, that we can buy food.
Okay, so I want to say thank you so much for taking out time to do all of this and just bringing out your neck and say, okay, we'll have to do this, despite the fact that you also need to protect yourself. So thank you for always doing this and keep doing it.
To all the first responders.
So we say thank you. And to all of you out there, please try to stay safe. It is better to be well than being sick.
Yes, stay home.
Exactly. So thank you so much. Until next time, I remain Ulujoke. Bye.